I bought a €100 fake FMF exhaust from AliExpress. In today's video we are going to unbox the exhaust, test out the sound and compare it to a real FMF and also compare it to the stock exhaust. It's going to be really interesting to see if it's really worth spending €1,000 on a real FMF when you can buy one for €100. This video is also going to take some crazy turns because a lot of things will happen. But with this said, let's begin with the unboxing. When I bought this exhaust, I had no clue when or even if it was gonna show up, because you never know when you're buying from websites like Alibaba and stuff like that. But when I opened it up, I was surprised to see that it was an actual exhaust inside. And when I took off the protective film, I realized that it actually looked really good. I'm really impressed with this exhaust. But now we have to put on the FMF stickers to make it look like a real FMF. And let's remove the protective film to finalize the results. And now I am actually amazed by this exhaust. I can't tell if it's real or fake. It looks so good with the blue finish and real carbon fiber. It looks amazing. Now before we can install the fake FMF, we have to take off my old exhaust. Here's a little cool trick with a zip tie if you need to remove your exhaust springs. Now this exhaust comes with a adapter if you want to put it on like a 250, but since I have a 250 it does not fit, so let's remove it. Using some heat and a twisting motion we can easily remove it from the exhaust. Watch out, it's very hot. Now it fits like a glove. Let's mark where we're gonna drill in the exhaust. Since this is a universal exhaust we have to make the mount ourselves, but that's no problem at all. Look at that, the mount is now on, so let's finalize it by putting it on the bike. Let's do it. I didn't have any real silicone for the exhaust, so I used my aquarium silicone. Hopefully it will hold up, but yeah, we're gonna see. Alright, so the €100 exhaust is now on the bike and we are finally going to test it out. We are going to begin with a normal sound check of the bike. Then after that we're going to do some short raw riding to hear the amazing sound, because I think that this exhaust sounds very good. But then after that we're going to compare it with and without the diabetic killer inside, and then at the end of the video we're going to compare it to a real FMF. So let's begin with the sound check. Alright, it sounded amazing. So far the fake FMF sounds so good. I'm so happy with the result. It looks so good. Sounds very good as well, but we're gonna see at the end of the video how it compares to a real FMF. But now I'm going to put my microphone behind my back so you can hear this bike when I ride. So let's do some raw riding really quick to hear the sound of the bike. Oh my god. Wow. I don't know what to say. This exhaust right here performs so good. It's like crazy. For 100 euros you can get like basically a FMF exhaust. But we still haven't compared it to a real FMF. So stay tuned for that. But so far this exhaust exceeds all my expectations. This exhaust performs so good. It is actually incredible. But next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to compare it with and without a DB killer. Because right now I have the DB killer in. Now instead of taking off the DB killer off my bike, I have a friend that have exactly the same bike and exactly the same FMF, but without the DB killer. So let's compare the bikes to each other. Alright, so behind me we have my friend's 2021 Husqvarna FE450 with the same Alibaba Express exhaust. So let's begin without the DB killer. So right now the plan is that we are going to ride to my friend that has a real FMF, and we're gonna compare the sounds to a real FMF that's like 1,000 euros versus a fake FMF that is 100 euros. It's a crazy difference, and if I am going to be honest, I don't think that there will be any sound difference at all. I think that the real FMF will just have a lot better quality and will hold up a lot more in the long term. I mean, an exhaust is basically just a metal tube, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually really happy with this FMF, and I know that a lot of you guys are gonna ask me from where I bought it. I mean, you know that it's from AliExpress or Alibaba, I don't remember, but I won't put up a link, because if you buy from my link, I can't guarantee that the exhaust will be as good as mine, so you're just gonna have to find it for yourself. I have one tip: if you're buying exhaust like this, only buy if you can see that a lot of people have bought it. So if it's like 100 people have bought it before you buy, then it should be good, and if the reviews are good. When I rode over to the sound check spot, I realized some smoke was coming from the exhaust, but well, ever since then I haven't seen any smoke. Yeesh. And I saw a YouTube video of another guy that bought a fake FMF, and his exhaust started like smoking crazy for the first minute or so of riding, but mine have held up so far. The only thing that I think that you have to change of this exhaust is maybe the wool inside. I think that everything else is good. I'm actually amazed by the quality of this exhaust. Shipping took about 1.5 months, about 2 weeks longer than expected. What the hell is going on? He just stood in the middle of traffic looking at his phone. No, he was drinking something. Alright, let's talk power. For some reason it feels like I have a lot more power now with the new exhaust. I don't know if it's like a placebo effect, because the bike sounds louder, I might think that it goes louder. Average 125cc 4-stroke rider, the louder the bike, the faster it goes. Anyways, so it might be because that it's louder that I think that it has more power, but I still feel like that it has more power. I also have the DB killer in right now, and I think that if I take away the DB killer, the bike will get more power. Now, even though I think that my bike is gonna get a lot more power if I take away the DB killer, I am still not gonna do it. The reason why is that I have tinnitus, and because of that I don't want to take away the DB killer, because I don't want to destroy my hearing a lot more. Also, I am not a big fan of loud exhaust. I don't like loud exhaust at all. I mean, it can be cool sometimes. I like the sound over the loudness. I much rather have a better sounding bike than a loud bike, because then you're like a lot more accessible for a lot more stunt spot without people getting angry with you. But I am still going to try without the DB killer. But yeah, my friend's bike over there was so loud, it was like crazy. But yeah, only future can tell. My number one enemy is bicycle riders that rides on the road instead of the bicycle lane besides the road. Oh, I hate when they do it. It's like they have a dedicated road to ride their bicycles instead of the road, but instead they choose to ride the bikes on the road, which is so annoying. I mean, if it was like a wheelie lane on the highway, you know, a separate lane just for wheelies, I would definitely ride on the wheelie lane. And that's like similar if I was riding my bike. I would not ride it on the road. I would ride it on the wheelie lane. Now it's gonna be interesting to see if my bike starts to smoke once I have stopped riding, because now I have pushed this bike a lot. Man, it's really starting to get cold outside. I hate it. Maybe not. I love this road. Now that I finally have a bike that sounds good, I can finally do a raw riding video where I put my bike behind my back as earlier and capture some great audio whilst I do wheelies and ride on good roads. Nothing beats the sound of a screaming two-stroke, but a four-stroke is also nice. You know, with the engine braking, you can go like dun, dun, dun. Okay, now I'm just being autistic, but yeah, I can already feel like I have stopped hearing stuff. Now I'm definitely gonna have to start wearing earplugs in the future when I ride, but I guess that for this ride I'm gonna survive. I really have to capture the final days of the season before the season ends, because yeah, you can really start to feel that autumn is here. It's so cold outside. Luckily this year I have a lot of plans for content. Mainly my friend gave me a couple of studded ice tires, so we are going to ride on the ice this winter. I am finally gonna live up to my name, Ice Moto, and ride on the ice. I will also have a brand new E-Ride Pro, so we can like drift around in the snow. Comment down below if you want to see a video where I put a sled behind the E-Ride Pro and like drift around. I think that could be really fun. So I have a lot of plans for the winter. Now something crazy happened yesterday when I was out delivering food on Uber Eats. I'm not gonna tell the story in this video. I'm gonna do it in my next part of the Uber Eats video. You guys seem to really enjoy the last one, so I'm going to do a second one, but inside of Stockholm City. Anyways, I basically got robbed by a crazy grown-ass man with a child. It's gonna be a crazy story time, so stay tuned for that. Alright, we are gonna stop over here and see if my exhaust is smoking or not. Let's just look at it. You can see that my aquarium silicone are starting to leak out of there. I don't think it was the best choice to use that for my exhaust, but I'm gonna get a better silicone later. But yeah, I think it works pretty good. When I'm riding I can like smell a awkward smell of burnt rubber. I think that's the aquarium silicone, but I'm gonna fix that up. But so far it has held up very good actually. Alright, so before we compare it to a real FMF, we're going to do some quick flybys over this very beautiful road. So let's begin with my bike without the DB killer. The sheeps also want to be in the video. Alright, that sounded pretty good, but let's do without the DB killer. Let's begin. It was at this point everything went south. Even though we did everything legal, we was under the speed limit and everything like that, I can't show you the crash because of insurances and everything like that. But I can tell you what happened. So my friend was coming in too high for speed into the corner. He had not ridden much on the roads earlier, so it was his first time sending that road. That meant that he had too much speed into the corner and didn't have time to brake, and he rode right into a stone wall. Now the crash was pretty brutal. The cops and the ambulance had to show up on the scene. He broke his arm and his bike was pretty totaled. So send the hearts in the chat for West Motos and let's hope for a speedy recovery. After the crash I didn't want to record anything because of respect of him and everything like that. So I'm going to use an old clip of a real FMF so we can compare the sound of the fake versus the real. So let's finish this video with comparing a real FMF versus the fake with no DB killer. Let's begin. Here we have my friend's bike with a real FMF, so let's hear the sound. Okay, so the real FMF definitely sounds better than the fake one, but for 100 euros compared to 1,000 euros, I'd say that it's not worth buying a real one. And I also want to mention that I don't condone buying fake rip-off brands because you're not supporting the real brands that's making the real products. But for this video I wanted to say how good a fake FMF really is. So if you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to like and subscribe and maybe drop a nice comment. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!